Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai for day number 2 as we get ready to rock here for viOLet versus Haas. I'm doing as much as possible I can with this Chinese translation as Stage China Kyle Aris heads to the stage once again to figure out exactly how this is going to go down. Boys, welcome back to the desk. I have Roddy, Funker, and Brendan here once again. It's viOLet versus Haas, Roddy.
I've been waiting for this. I think everybody at home has been waiting for this, not necessarily because we think either of these two players is going to win this event, but because it's Haas against Zerg. I mean, it doesn't really get much more entertaining than that.
Indeed. We already had a snippet there from Todd earlier on in the day as he was looking over the shoulder of Haas, seeing him cannoning out some of these Zergs already. So we're in for some fun times, Funker.
Yeah, he never stops with the weird builds, with the all-out aggression. He does stuff that nobody else does, and that's why he makes it for really interesting players. I'm really looking forward to any series that he has to play.
And of course, this is rank 10th in WCS in viOLet going up against rank 11th in Haas. Now, that was already bewildering enough, never mind the fact that he's got that far here, Brendan.
I don't know about this one, you know. Even the WCS rankings, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. They're very close, but nothing makes sense when Haas comes into the show, right? He's going up against Zerg. Queen buff is coming in. He's going to have some hard times if he wants to go for any kind of Stargate play. He loves his proxy Stargates against Zergs, but he also loves his cannons, and maybe he's going to bring in some new stuff for this tournament. I don't know.
Yeah, I was already thinking like Queen buff, well, he doesn't really tack up all that much, but that's right, he does proxy his target every now and then. I mean, proxy Oracle is definitely something that's part of his arsenal, maybe followed up with a lot of adepts. It's going to be very fun, but I like what you said there, James. It's rank 10 against rank 11 in the WCS rankings, and that fact alone kind of blows me away, because if I look at this year for viOLet, this feels to me like a very poor year for viOLet, but he's still within striking distance of BlizzCon, and that's pretty remarkable in my opinion.
No, I would agree with that. I mean, you look at his Leipzig performance way back at the start of the year.
That was
3rd
solid.
and 4th place.
Yeah.
That was good a start. But then from there, WCS Winter and WCS Spring, 5th through 8th. It's not really what you expect from viOLet, who you consider a championship caliber player.
And even at DreamHack Tours, even though he made it to the round of 8, he got there by beating Jim Rising in the round of 32 and Igus in the round of 16. That is a pretty sweet bracket. I mean, obviously it's never easy. All of these players that make it to these tournaments are good, but it's not like he took out Nurcho and Snoot or Nurcho and you know, Bolt, for instance. That was pretty much as good as a bracket is ever going to get at a summer or spring championship. So it's really time for viOLet to show us that he's still got it. This is a pretty good opportunity for him. Getting Haas in the round of 16, that's scary, but an old school viOLet, a viOLet that's in shape, is supposed to be the favorite here, and he's supposed to take care of business, whatever business may present.
Right, exactly. And when you're going up against a guy like Haas, you never know when a curveball is going to come along. So viOLet here, what does he do? Because normally he's been a traditionally aggressive player. Does he have to just like kind of sit back on his laurels, assume he's the better player, and just play the defensive game?
Yeah, for sure. In my opinion, he really does need to be extra defensive, scouts a lot, and try to figure out what's coming his way, because the aggression is going to come from us. Like, he never builds a third Nexus, so when he does, he actually cancels it before it finishes to actually make more units. So really, really be careful of whatever comes your way.
Or he builds it on the other side of the map, so you're expecting the all-in, and then actually it is a macro game, because the Nexus is the right top side of Runes of Endian, like he did against Happy.
Yeah, I remember many games like that. Is the Adept going into Legacy of the Void now one of Haas's favorite units? Obviously, you can make a lot happen with the Adept, especially in this matchup as well. Is that something that we could see here, Brendan?
I mean, we just saw Neve 302-ing with 3 Adept timings in a row, right? So definitely a unit that he could mix into his arsenal for sure. But I like what Funko was saying before, how you really need to change up your style against someone like Haas. It's not ZvP here, it's ZV Haas at this point.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much, boys, as we get into this best of 5. viOLet versus Haas. It's going to be a blinder as we send it over to Pig and Todd.
Thanks, Kalaris. All the blinders are happening today, apparently. Got to bring out that British slang, right? How you going, Todd? Excited for this match?
Yeah, man, it has. This is the best matchup yet. I think.
Yeah, man.
I've been waiting for this.
I mean, it's madness, right? You got viOLet, who's like trying to kind of get back and show that he's got what it takes, and Haas the guy who's just going to throw the craziest stuff at you over and over again. So both players going to be going in for a monstrous match here. And spawning here on Frost, down here in the bottom left-hand side, hailing from Taiwan, our favorite Protoss player, it is Haas.
Going for a double scout, a gateway, and a forge.
Oh.
Getting things started quickly here. Cheeky cannon rush with the Zealots. And down, or up, in the top left side of the map here, it's of course viOLet.
Oh, Haas is coming in with the probe. Is he going to show it? No, he's not showing the probe, and viOLet has no vision. No, he does show the probe. Okay,
Usually,
but he's already dropped a pylon at the front.
He's going to do this up the ramp with double pylon there, and
viOLet's not reacting. Okay, he's pulling a drone now. The drone's coming over. He's going to scout this. You can't get in there, though. And the second probe coming in on the low ground. He's going to scout this pylon.
viOLet is already entering Haas's world here, and it's not even a lucky scout here by Haas. He double scouted.
Yeah.
Originally, the first probe went on the bottom right-hand side, so no matter what here, he was always going to find viOLet early and go for this and commit a lot to it here.
And Haas coming in with the second probe on the low ground, throwing down more cannons. There is no way viOLet is going to break this with drones alone. His spawning pool has finished. He's going to start up Queens and Zerglings, and dropping a Roach Warren looks like, he's going to go for the slow breakout. He realizes he can't do this. He's just going to keep attacking.
Oh, he's an artist. He's just an artist.
Throwing down the pylon the exact second the previous one dies, so the drones don't even get a chance to get in there. The drones are forced to pull back, and Haas now getting that extra cannon up. The question is, can that cannon that's finishing, can it actually hit the hatchery? Okay, just barely good. Okay.
I feel like I'm watching a Picasso, man. This is just beautiful here.
Oh, Zerglings do slip by. He's going to be able to run over to the other side of the map.
I mean, it's Haas. He has a wall of back at home. He's ready for everything. He's mining gas, gets the cyber core. He's going to chrono boost out a Zealot, get the wall with the probe. I'm guessing maybe have to throw down the pylon if the Lynx try to get in. But I mean, that hatchery is dead, and viOLet's going to be locked up at home for a long time.
Yeah, that hatchery is going to go down for sure. Of course, no Nexus down for Haas behind us just yet.
He's going to have to start a pylon before the Lynx get in.
Oh, the Lynx!
It.
Okay, very nice wall off there by Haas, and the Zealot comes out just in time.
If I was viOLet here, I'd be defeated already. This is
he's
a
down
disaster. The roaches running to the cannons.
He's down 6 workers already, and losing the hatchery is going to be a real pain in Haas here. Goes for Stargate before Nexus behind this. He's just going to keep the aggression up. Oh my god, great focus fire on the cannons. Look at this. Haas actually killed 2 of the roaches very quickly and continuing to focus fire, ignoring the broodlings, going for the valuable units at the back. Haas is microing this very well. viOLet's got to pull back that weak roach. Does manage to save that last one, but already the trading here has been fantastic for viOLet, doing very well for himself.
Haas not only has started a Stargate, he started his Nexus at about the same time that second hatchery started. And I mean, tech-wise, he's just against a Zerg who has a Roach Warren. And look at it. Talk to us. Can you guess how many cannons Haas will build?
Oh, man.
Let us know that hashtag IEM. Well, good luck with that one. He's going to be in the hundreds, I feel.
We're going to see a lot throughout this series, man. Already an Oracle's on the way, and viOLet has no idea that this is going down. He's coming across with a few Roaches and Zerglings. He's got an Overlord in the back of the base here, but he doesn't know about that Oracle, and that's going to be hitting very, very fast.
Yeah, if he's not ready and he has no Spore, it's going to be a lot of drones dying here, and I don't even think he's actually trying to scout this. It's funny because, like, with the building positioning that viOLet has seen, I don't even think he would suspect a Stargate from being made there.
Yeah.
So he's not checking that corner. And man, the Oracle, I'm already feeling that there's going to be like 5+ drones dying, which is the last thing you need when Protoss has such a good start he has got.
Yeah, Haas is looking really strong right now. His Oracle's about to go into the main base. The Overcharge defending his own base at home. And the Queen is so damaged earlier. The cannon almost took it down. Look at this, the Spore's not ready. Absolute chaos in viOLet's base. The Oracle picking up so many kills. Haas's dreams are coming true right now. Picking up 4, 5 drone kills. A 6th goes down, a 7th and 8th. Oh, that is absolutely devastating. And Haas takes a 10 worker lead already.
He's a legend. He's just a legend. He does this throughout time, every single time, and somehow it's still working just because he has his own style that nobody really knows how to play against. You know, if you think about the cannon rush, if you know exactly how to play against this kind of build, it's not going to be effective, but who does that?
Yeah,
nobody really does that on ladder.
You know, viOLet, you know, on this 4-player map, he doesn't have the scout of the probe entering his base. You know, the wall off gets up, and from here, Haas has this planned
2 more
out
Stargates
precisely. Mass Oracle. It's going to be Mass Oracle?
Triple Stargates.
Oh my god.
Are you serious? Like this, it feels like every few minutes the games get more and more amazing with Haas. Like just when you think your mind has been blown and there's nothing else that he could show you that you would think is crazy, he throws down 2 more Stargates.
You know, this is a really cool style, which we saw popular for about a week on Korean ladder. I think it was Stats tried to use it in Pro League one game, and it was like against Bial or someone, and the Zerg just had plenty of queens and was fine because he was already going for a queen-heavy style. But especially if the Zerg isn't ready for this, the Oracles do so much damage. And look at the economy, like 10 probe lead already. How do you possibly afford enough anti-air? These Oracles, when you get up to like 6 or 7, they can just blast a Spore Crawler down. They can blast queens down. And this is, if you don't see
the
it
range
coming,
not going to matter here.
man.
I mean, viOLet's so far behind. The third base being on the threat already. Queen's got sniped. And now he's going to be one more, or more drones dying. Look at this guy. I can't even believe it here. He's like, Oracles and Has. This is just too much.
That was like the pace of anyone watching Has game right there. That was too perfect. I can't believe that. Oh my god.
Oh, that was so good. I'm glad they caught that. His jaw is going to keep on dropping lower and lower as like the game's progress here with Has.
Mass
Up
Oracle.
until it detaches from his face.
Oh man, I mean viOLet's in a desperate spot right now. He's gonna, oh, nice save on the probe. Walls itself in with a little pylon trick there. Has has got all the plays today, and he's still got almost no ground
All
army.
these Oracles.
He's got what, one Zealot?
Oh, viOLet sees them with the links here running around.
Uh-oh, Queen's trying to start up. The Queens are trying to gather, but he's got to stay at the spores. This is such a desperate situation. These Oracles can just dive on top of those Queens and blast them down. You got to get next to the spores, viOLet. You can't fight in the open. There, so Oracle's going to focus down these Queens. They just disappear.
Wow.
Even going to focus down this Spore Crawler. 2 Oracles do fall, but the last Queens are falling. The Spore's going down, and now it is a drone massacre, Todd.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not much viOLet can do. He's got the last Queen and a Spore coming up that's going to die pretty much instantly. viOLet down to so few walkers. Has been running the show, and at this point he could even go carriers if he wanted to, but he's messing more Oracles to try and finish this game.
Whoever said Oracles don't kill hatcheries, when you've got 7 of them, yes they do. The natural hatchery goes down. Good focus fire from viOLet to snatch an Oracle, but when you're down to 2 base versus 3 base, your opponent has mass Oracle, and all you've got is 2 Queens that shoot up. Things are not looking good for the Zerg player.
Oh man, he's just absolute legends. This guy. He does what nobody else can do, and all of a sudden viOLet is 40 supply behind, and I don't even know what he's supposed to do here from there to recover.
The battle here for viOLet is to keep his mentality together while he endures the rest of the painful death that is dying to mass Oracles, because this is one of the worst ways to lose. You're playing on a stage. It's your first match over here in China. You've flown over from the US. You've got this big match, and you get torn apart by cannon rush into Oracles.
Yeah.
I mean, as viOLet, you've got to stay strong here mentally. Like, there's almost no way to come back. He's going to try and fight it out, which is good. He's got to try and maintain his strength, but...
The 4th Stargate! Where's the fleet beacon?
You know, apparently if you build 0 ground units, you can produce off 4 Stargates on 3 bases. He's going to have 4th base gas up soon as well.
Actually,
just non-stop Oracle production, 0 transition.
I'm disappointed he made warp gates. I feel like he shouldn't even have.
Yeah.
But 4 Stargates here for Has. viOLet is starting to pop out Hydralis, which are going to be outnumbered by this massive amount of Oracle.
You know, Hydras don't
This
even...
is the real Golden Armada here, Pete.
Yeah, Hydras don't even beat Oracles, man. Like, the mass Disco Ball just come in and they kill light units so fast. None of these units are light, and they're destroying them. There's just too much damage output. They're too mobile. Look at that. The Spore Crawler disappears. Another drone line is forfeit, and viOLet has just got to be sucking his wounds right now. The shock, the horror. Our audience just loving it. Watching some Has games here. The natural hatchery goes down. The Queens and Hydras just disappear. It's almost a vanishing act. These Oracles are magicians right now. Anything that comes out just disappears immediately. And Has is running away with this game really fast.
I'm not sure what viOLet is staying here. Maybe a little bit of a disbelief here. Like, pinch me so I can wake up. Has takes map number 1. In typical Has fashion. And this guy loves it.
Oh, we've got to love the fan support for Has there, and it's such a fun way of watching StarCraft. You know, I think especially a lot of the nostalgic fans are out there. You know, I miss the first 6 months of Wings of Liberty when no one took a natural expansion. I love it when I see people cannon rush and go mass just harassment units. And that's a hard pill for viOLet to swallow there, man. He looks a little bit annoyed at that, as anyone would be. He's got to pull it together, and I mean, you're playing Has. You got to like send a drone around to check for those probes coming. You got to block these dirty cannon rushes.
Yeah, I mean, viOLet even knew, you know, that Has does this kind of stuff. It's not hard to know. He does it pretty much every single game. The thing is, like I said, you can't really get good practice against this because Has is the only one doing it in this fashion, and he's the best at it as well. Yeah. Even if somebody else was to do it, he wouldn't be as refined as when Has does it. So your biggest strength that you could have up against somebody like Has is, I guess, your adaptation skills and being able to read a situation and react very quickly and properly to it, even though you're not particularly used of facing this kind of build. But
yeah,
in this case, I don't think he reacted right. You know, pulling drones, attacking cannons, he wasn't going to be able to get a cancel on, maybe not the best of ways. I think, you know, a hatchery maybe some elsewhere on the map. I don't think that letting the hatchery finish was a big problem, but maybe even going into earlier roaches and, you know, all that to kill the cannon up the ramp, kill the pylon up the ramp, and then attack the cannons that were down the ramp with something from up there. And man, this poor viOLet. This has to be a little bit depressing for him, for sure, to lose in this fashion in map number 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough. I think not spotting the Stargate was another crucial moment with this Overlord. Kind of almost obvious positioning at the front with the Stargate, but that's not where you'd expect the tech to go down. And when that first Oracle flew in, I think it really did seal the deal. If viOLet got left alone for a few seconds longer, had, say, a Spore down, he definitely had a chance to catch up with the faster third hatchery, but Haas ran away with that game really fast. So he's going to game number 2 looking very confident and comfortable. We are going to be diving into Frozen Temple in just a moment. Of course, taking up a very quick 1-0 victory is Haas. It is a best of 5, though, to go through to the next stage. And we are going to be diving into that map right now. Spawning here on Frozen Temple in the top left-hand side of the map. Our Taiwanese Protoss player, it is Haas.
The legend himself.
Still playing for Flash Wolves, of course. He's been with them for a very long time. He's made such a legendary name for himself.
And his opponents, starting in the bottom right-hand side of the map, playing as the Blue Zerg, it's of course envious as viOLet. Struggling in map number 1. I'm pretty sure he's going to start scouting a lot more and look out for pylons and cannons. Guess what? We've got a gateway and a forge going up here. And Haas is going to go for the scout right after. So the ramp here on this map, especially when you go up, is not nearly as easy to cannon.
Yeah.
With double pylon, you know, there will always be a space where that cannon could be getting attacked.
Yeah, there's like a weird spot behind the assimilator at the natural, and you know, viOLet already checked for proxy gates here.
What do you think about viOLet going hatch first anyway, by the way? Wouldn't you be scared against Haas?
I think as long as you're on top of it, like he is, there we go. Yes, he's respecting it. I think as long as you've got a drone there, you can't really be afraid of this. This time, he's got an Overlord out front, his natural.
Yeah, but Haas is going to go for it. Again, he's sending out a second probe. He's not mining gas right now. It's all going to be about the minerals and about the cannons. He's not even getting a Zealot, so it's going to be a lot of pylons.
viOLet spotted it, though. He's going to pull drones immediately. Yeah, this is going for a full wall off the drone. Trying to block. Doesn't manage to get the block. He's only pulled 3 drones. He's got to pull more if he wants to commit to this. Oh, he's pulling more, but these extra drones are pulling a little bit late.
Yeah, but because of that, viOLet is not mining gas. Remember last game, he had some drones attacking these pylons, but it doesn't do enough. The cannons will get up. That base will die.
Oh, he can't just focus down one pylon either, or Haas can just wall in right behind it.
Oh, man,
viOLet, he's got to make up his mind. He can't. Oh my gosh, he's committing too much, but he's not going to be able to break out there. There we go. Full wall off is complete for Haas. Another pylon and cannon going down behind this, and this is a nightmare situation for viOLet. He's going to go back to mining. He's trying to build queens, but if he commits this much, he almost has to defend the hatchery. He's forcing a lot of cannons out of Haas.
The first game that puts Haas on the map with this kind of style was against Jaedong on Polar Knight a long time ago with a lot of pylons, and now he's back at it again. Cannons and pylons going up in the natural of viOLet. He's attacking that cannon. Might be able to get the cancel, but there's still more going to be going up.
The creep spread here is good. It means that cannon can't be replaced. There are only going to... there will be 3 cannons finishing up in range, though. He's going to try and break out with spines, queens, and zerglings. What viOLet has to do here is he's got to wait until that hatchery is very low in life, and then uproot his spines, run them forward with his queens, with his zerglings, with everything. Oh, fantastic usage of the high ground here. These queens are going to start railing down on that cannon immediately.
Oh, the spine moved too early, so the probe...
He's just going to go for it straight away, but this is a little bit disjointed. Those zerglings run to their death.
Oh,
the
and
spine
probe
in
across
range.
the map was blocking the links from going into the main. That probe was blocking. The links weren't even attacking it. So now Zealot comes out, cleans this up, and now he could run across the map with this here to help with the situation and the siege.
Wow, no Zerglings in production, just going fewer drones here is viOLet. viOLet really, I mean, not respecting this pressure at all. He's just saying, nah, I can defend this with the bare minimum of units. These 2 queens and this spine can get the job done. Yeah, he's focusing on the hatch. I mean, viOLet, you got to get that last cannon. You got to kill it right now. He does have a transfuse. I think he's going to be okay. And because he's been droning in the midst of this, I think this has been
he transfused. Whoa. He transfused the spine.
Oh.
If he had kept going for the hatch, he might have gotten it.
Oh, if he gets that queen, that's okay, but he doesn't manage to get it. And it looks like it has been held by viOLet, keeping his natural hatchery alive in a much better position than last game.
I can't believe viOLet transfused the spine. And then that Haas didn't pick it up, because he could have gotten the hatchery, I think, if he had kept on targeting it with the cannon. But either way, he's going to be the same Stargates towards the wall of his natural, which this time around gets spotted immediately. So there's not going to be an Oracle flying in and killing 8 drones.
And Haas is already planning his next cheeky move up here on the top right-hand side. Proxying a pylon. I think we're going to see something very naughty following up this Oracle.
He turned the page in the great Protoss book.
Exactly, man. Oh, yes, of builds, of course. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely the correct word there. You know, we're going to be seeing Oracle starting up, but there's an Overlord watching the Stargate this time around, and Haas actually reacting to that. Says, let's go Phoenix. Proxying the Twilight Counts on the top right-hand side. I think we're going to be seeing Phoenix into DTs. A very cute and weird way to play it out.
You realize what mind game this is, right? He's going to make Phoenixes against a Zerg who's already got Queens. Hope that he only gates Queens and no Spores, and then walk in with the DTs and win.
And if there's Spores, that's where things get weird, though. So, and this is going to be a really awkward position. Only one Phoenix for now from Haas.
Actually, he might hope that there are Spores, but then go for Adepts. Mass Adepts, because he's proxying a gateway as well to warp in faster. So, and he's got a pylon in the back of his mains if he wants to make hidden gateways there. A lot of gateways.
Really nice pressure here from viOLet so far, though, forcing a bit of micro, a bit of distraction out of Haas.
Yeah. It's going to be Mass Adepts.
Called it, Roddy. Roddy? Todd. Sorry, man. You guys all look the same to me.
I mean, you don't need to apologize when you make a compliment.
All right, Mass Gateway's going down, man. This is it. I mean, this is going to be a 2-base all and no third Nexus on the way. This is going to be a huge commitment.
Why do you get the gate on the top right if he was going to proxy a pylon closer and get another gate there as well on the right-hand side? Oh, Haas. It's like the plan C. Or the gateway up there.
He wants this gateway to be found, so then viOLet shuts it down and then thinks, oh, there couldn't possibly be another proxy location. But I think right now this is kind of hard for viOLet. Like, he's not scouting for proxies. His vision on the map, he's just kind of got Zerglings at the front.
That is the fakest third base I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, man. And he spots
He's on 37 probes.
The thing is, this makes viOLet feel so safe right now. You know, oh, he's actually building roaches, though. 10 roaches in production. viOLet not taking any chances. Looks like he might even want to go for a big queen roach push.
The thing is, I feel like viOLet might be attacking at the time the Adepts hit his base. And across the map, I mean, against overcharged Phoenixes and stuff, I don't see him do that well, especially against this many gateways and Adepts as he's going to be making. Oh, the Phoenixes.
Yeah, this is a huge timing attack out of viOLet. It's going to do very well at shutting down the third. The question is, as you said, can he defend at home at the same time?
Has walked in at home. He walked in a lot of Adepts at home.
What? Adepts versus Roaches and Queens. That's going to be a really odd call. I do feel like, yeah, here we go. A few more Adepts warping in on the offense. He's going to wait till viOLet hits, and right as viOLet hits, he's going to counterattack with Adepts. But with the Mass Zergling reinforced, they might be able to deal with that.
He needs to move back the Mothership Core, by the way. If it stays there or even dies, this is going to be a disaster here for Haas, who needs more pylons than his natural as well for overcharge.
Corrosive Bile landing on the Phoenix as well. Adepts do dive in on the natural hatchery, though. A lot of drones going down. Great positioning out of those Adepts so far from Haas, starting to deal some massive damage. But his third base has gone down. All he's got at home is Adepts and Overcharge. He's got no Robo. He's got nothing that deals with Roaches very well. And the Corrosive Bile starting to land. These Adepts just causing so much damage back at home, though.
viOLet
is getting out of control a little bit.
Haas has got more walkers here right now. viOLet needs to move in and end the game right now. More pylons are being made on that natural here, and the Phoenixes waiting for their time to come in and finally do something.
Oh, the natural hatchery goes down, and viOLet's all in. He's pushing in as deep as he can. He's losing so much economy behind this, but Haas just does not have an answer. If we take a look back at the natural, Haas is, he's got his defense there. It's just a few Adepts. They just can't fight this number of Roaches. What can Haas possibly do against that force?
The Mothership Core died, so he's remaking that to have at least one more overcharge here to fight against this. Right now, there's too much anti-air for the Phoenixes to move in and start picking up units, but Haas is kind of running out of time. He needs to warp in more units, make sure he defends.
Oh my gosh, 2 Phoenix go down to Corrosive Bile. Bad dodge there from Haas, and Haas just doesn't have an answer, man. He's only got Adepts and Phoenix. It's not working out. I think viOLet's just going to overwhelm here, and viOLet equalizes, takes it up to 1-1.
Wow, that could have gone a lot worse here for viOLet. Fortunately for him, went for some aggression. If he had tried to play it slow, if he had tried to play it a little bit greedy here, would have been punished big time. You can't do that against Haas, so he took the initiative himself, went for the attack, and I guess he handled the counter-attack with the Adepts very, very well. He eventually defended it and killed Haas across the map. So a lot more successful defense compared to map number 1 as well. Being able to have that drone, by the way, blocking was a pretty big deal, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. If those Zerglings get into Haas's base at that point, things can start to get very awkward. You know, we've seen Haas just so experienced at defending the very typical counter pressures that come when he does these aggressive openings. But, you know, viOLet looked much calmer in that early defense. Like, you know, he just kind of shut it down. He started droning very early. He calculated exactly how much to defend. I actually thought he was overcommitting to the drones, but remember, that allowed him to kill the very first cannon, and that was very important. If that cannon gets up, he loses the hatchery, hands down. But
it's interesting that the mind game of Haz of going for that third Nexus actually played against him, you know, because he could have used those minerals to maybe get gas on his natural, more probes, and then maybe go for DTs. Imagine if he had gone for Darkrai and there was no Spore made here in this game. That would have been
and defensively as well, DTs would have been amazing. I mean, he needed something else at home. Warping in Adepts at home, I don't think was the correct decision. Maybe some Stalkers, maybe some Sentries. But, you know, I just seeing the memes already coming out with that crowd shot before, it's going to be fantastic.
Haz is so funny, man. I just love watching him play. It's every single time. He always delivers. Never a boring matchup here with him.
Yeah, and I mean, so far we've seen the same sort of opening 2 games in a row. The next map is going to be King Sejong. Definitely a map with some very nasty spots behind the natural minerals where cannon rushes can go up. So we're going to be diving in there in just a moment and seeing just what Haas has up those wizard sleeves of his, what tricks he's going to pull out. viOLet looking very tense, even though he has equalized the set. He's going to have to really watch out for all of these cheeky shenanigans as we go into Sejong Station. And spawning down here in the bottom right-hand side, the fan favorite, Lord of the Cannons, our Taiwanese Protoss player, it is Haas.
Will they keep up the shenanigans? Most certainly, Pig. And his opponent starting at the top left-hand side of the map, playing as the blue Zerg. It's, of course, Envious' viOLet, finally gathering some momentum here in this series after a disastrous map number 1. Stayed focused, did what he needed to do. Well, apparently he standardized the build order against Zerg.
Yeah.
With the gateway and the forge.
This is really bizarre. You know, normally Haas is a guy who keeps throwing curveballs, but it feels like Haas is saying, I'm just going to keep throwing the same curveball. Very clever probe positioning there. Look at how he's microing this probe. Specifically wants to dodge the overlords. However, viOLet being very careful with his second overlord outside his natural, is watching for the odd angle that probe's going to come in, and his second overlord is going to spot that probe coming in right now. And immediately, viOLet's hair's got to stand on end. He's got to send the drone down immediately, and watch out for that. Was he watching? Was he paying attention? This probe's getting in there already. Potential for a big cannon rush. Here we go. Drone comes down, and oh my god, is he going to wall this off with 5 pylons? Has you monster. What the? This is a huge investment. Keep in mind, he can't afford a lot of cannons because of this. And it looks like viOLet is saying, I know the defense. I'm going to go for the exact same defense. He finds the pylon with the most surface area, wraps the drones around that. He says, this is the weak point. That's what I'm focusing on. And actually pulls a lot of drones down here wanting to break through here.
And Haas this time around won't try to go for a second cannon. He starts pylons here to try and block it off just right behind this. And then we'll go for more cannons. So he wants to make sure that that first cannon is completely protected. Links are on the way as well as
the
double
creep
queens.
is out though. He wasn't able to finish the wall off on the left-hand side. That cannon's going to get exposed. There's going to be Zerglings and drones on top of that. Yeah, the probe trying to hold position there to limit surface area. Very clever move, but viOLet with a good focus fire so far. The probe goes down. The cannon picking up some nice kills, but the other cannons are just too delayed. I think viOLet's going to hold this. 3 drones have gone down, but that cannon's getting awfully weak. And what? viOLet, he's pulling back. Oh my god, you've got to stay there, viOLet. That cannon's doing even more damage than it should have. The extra probe does go down. This is the end of the extra cannons, but 2 cannons are finishing up here. viOLet really underestimating this again. He's going to try and just defend with a bare minimum of units, and hey, viOLet's a pretty good player. Looks like he's going to defend pretty well so far, but letting this last cannon kind of hang around, the Queen's going to have a bit of trouble with that. Yeah, he's just, viOLet just knows this so well. He calculates it perfectly. Going to pull that Queen back at the last moment. The Spine and the other Queen going to move forward, and a perfect hold from viOLet.
He pulled back a little bit early at times, but yeah, as long as he's able to hold there, I guess, and being on 2 hatcheries, he's going to be a great advantage against a Haas who started his second Nexus very, very late in this game. So eventually, viOLet, for map number 1, he's really figured out how to hold this and not fall super far behind. And now he's going to go pylon hunting and take down this entire Chinese wall here.
I like seeing that 23 out of 63 supply there for Haas. Of course, not going to last too long as that pylon wall does go down. And it's just a weakness on this map. If you try to wall with 5 pylons, you don't have enough money to get the cannons down in time. And we saw how this affected Haas. He couldn't get those cannons up. He was so close to having that spiral out of control.
He needed to take the gamble to the next level and not send out a second probe to have some extra minerals. Because that cost him a little bit of minerals, but the problem is that if one drone makes it out, you know, or it could go wrong very quickly with just having one probe across the map. So
interesting. Big change up here from Haas. No Stargate. This time, just going for the warp gate research, and he's got a probe sitting at his third. I'm pretty sure he's going to be dropping a Nexus in the next few moments, and he's going to try and you know, really power up that economy, and then hit something aggressive.
Let's go for the Stargate eventually.
That's super delayed though. Yeah. That's a very late Stargate. This is not as crisp as the previous games, and viOLet is just in such a better position.
Yeah, he was worried maybe that viOLet might attack or something, so he made Mothership Core first. And I guess he might want to go into a very quick 30 no matter what. He's about to have 400 minerals. Yeah, that third Nexus now starts from Haas. The earlier viOLet sees this, the better for him. Zerglings are going to go around, but they're not going to do too much. I think I might just die scouting the Stargate.
Well, that is worthwhile. He's going to be ready for it, see the Stargate. You know, the Zerglings go down, does force out an overcharge. And looks like for now, viOLet's very comfortable, adding those drones already up 12 workers, adding extra queens. This is the perfect response from viOLet saying, I can afford all this time around. That's the difference. I can probably even skip on the spores and just mass up queens for anti-air. And he's even got the Overlord to confirm that it is Phoenix rather than Oracles.
That's really good. Like, that really will allow him to skip on spores, I think, for as long as he wants to. And on the other side, Has, what is he supposed to go into here from there? I mean, he drops down
two more Stargates.
That's not what he's supposed to go into, but that's what he will go into, I guess.
Oh, great observing there from Coco. Shows that the Overlord's out of vision, and the second Stargate, as a result, is in vision of that Overlord. Completely shows his hand, and guess what? viOLet's like, hey, wait a second, I just spotted your third base. And now viOLet's massing Zerglings. He's got a Baneling Nest almost finished. I think viOLet's saying, no way, man. There's no way you're hanging on to that third Nexus.
Knowing that there is at least double Stargate, he knows that he's most likely not going to have enough on the ground to defend the third base. So if viOLet takes this out, all he has to do is basically mass queens and then kill the air units. So he's going to do just that. He'll move across the map with all of those links. There's going to be at least one. Actually, there's going to be only one overcharge. Maybe Has stays defensively with the Oracles and kills all of those links. I guess that's the best case scenario for him, but then he's not doing damage across the map.
Yeah.
Against a viOLet that's gonna, if he wanted to, keep on building his economy, but right now viOLet is only making Zerglings and Banelings. He might just go for the kill in the natural. I thought he wanted to go for the third base, but this is looking more like he might want to go for the kill.
Just viOLet making the snap call after he saw that Phoenix in production, realizing the Oracles would be delayed if coming out at all. He's going in with the mass Baneling. The Oracle's got to turn on that laser beam, man. You got to stop these Banelings, but it's too little too late, I think. Gonna smash through that wall. The cannon goes down, the pylon goes down, the probes are
Mothership Core is AFK.
Oh, the Oracles,
in the third base, doing nothing.
Are doing a very good job here, but they're running out of energy. They're not going to last forever. He needs more Oracles. He needs to protect these probes, trying to focus down the Banelings, but there's still 3 Banelings alive, 2 Banelings alive. The Oracles are out of energy. The last Baneling does go down, but already 15 probes falling. viOLet Zerglings in the base, and this is absolute mayhem. Haas's defense is falling apart. His Oracles are running out of energy, and that's how Oracles work, man. If they don't get time to recharge, they can't do anything.
viOLet's saying, you want to play aggressive with me? I invented this stuff. I was the first Zerg, or one of the first Zerg to be known for how aggressive I played, and in this case, it works out. He's able to take 24 probes out. There's going to be even more dying on the third base. They are trapped. They can escape here at this point, and Has in so much trouble.
Lord of the Cannons was stopped in his tracks this game around. viOLet crushing down on top of him and saying, if you don't damage me a lot early on, I'm just going to overwhelm you. There is no way you're going to hang on against all of this. And, you know, Haas is defending his natural, but this isn't the campaign map. You know, you can't just defend one base. You need an economy.
It certainly is not.
Haas is just going to get overwhelmed there. The Banelings crashing. That last pylon overcharge goes down, and
crushing through this wall.
The Zerglings and Banelings are getting out of control, Todd.
Not having Nexus in the main is going to be a big problem, because it's not even like Hats can saturate that third base, and with 40 probes dying, he's now got less than half of the walker count of viOLet, who I think he's just going to want to finish here. Any way he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, he's building drones and drop overlords. I think he's going to try and drop some Banelings on the mineral lines. Of course, you know, 1 Nexus, 1 base Protoss here with like just a few Oracles up above, and look at that energy. They're just constantly out of energy. Each time they activate, it immediately chews up 25 energy. So if you're already low on energy, you need to keep turning it off and on. You just never get a chance to bank on up. Haas realizes that and does tap out. viOLet taking the 2-1 lead.
viOLet doing what he needs to do here when playing against Has, holding the initial attack and then attacking himself eventually. You know, you don't want to play super passive, because then you really leave a chance for Has to I guess, get up to his shenanigans unless you can read the game perfectly, which actually he's done a very good job of here in that game in particular, being able to scout the Stargates and all that. And I really like the reaction, you know, going for the aggression. A lot of people would have been like, well, I'm just going to mass Queens, you're going to be going for mass air, which can be okay, but in this case, viOLet is just like, well, there is no way you're going to be able to hold against my mass Zergling Baneling, so it just busts him open, kills a lot of probes, and then from there it's an unrecoverable position for Has.
Very, very well played by viOLet. And looking really calm with how he's defending those cannon rushes. A lesser player would panic in the face of these crazy cannon rushes, especially after dropping game 1 like that. But you can see viOLet here. I mean, he's been on stage so many times, and really, we've been talking about it for a year now, about how viOLet, he used to win so many tournaments. He used to be a champion, and that was a long time ago. It's been so long since he did last win a championship, and he's hungry for it. He wants to get back up there, man.
Yeah, the score is now 2-1 for viOLet up against Has. We're going to head to a short break, and when we come back, we'll get started with map number 4.
Listen to this. Good morning,
live here from China, and it's getting hot in here, not just because the weather is actually hot, but viOLet has really found a way to counter his opponent Has here in the last few games.
We need to see some one-base DT, man. We've got to see some change-ups here from Has.
One-base DT?
Yeah, man. He's got to throw something different out, I think.
Big. It's not nearly wild enough for Has.
Just like, no, one-base DT, man. That's standard. But viOLet's looking solid as a rock here. He's up 2-1 at the moment. And, of course, looking to close this series out. You know, the Taiwanese fan favorite here, the guy who just brings out the madness every single time he is on stage playing StarCraft.
Imagine getting married and this guy being your best man. Like, he would make the hangover movie look like a walk in the park.
That would be one scary Bucks night, man. I don't know if I'd want to deal with that. Of course, he is up here in the top left. It is Has. Bringing in those cakes.
Cakes. And his opponents, starting at the bottom right-hand side of the map, playing as the Blue Zerg. It's, of course, once more envious is viOLet. Sending out a drone here pretty early on, so it's going to be the gold base that we see so many times come into play. I was actually thinking that there is a good chance we're going to see Has take his, because he used to do it quite a bit on gold base maps. And even before it was hip and everybody started doing it.
Yeah.
He was one of the first guys to actually go for that kind of play, so...
And it looks like he's going to do it. He's sending a probe out to that gold base. It looks like he's going for, like, what is a very typical Protoss opening if you take your natural, but going for the gold base with it. So this is really cool. And that gives you a lot more minerals. Things like bigger depth pressures suddenly become a lot more explosive.
The thing is, sometimes when you anticipate Has being very aggressive too much, that's when he actually macros and take more bases. So I'd love to see maybe that mind game come into play here potentially, although it's always unlikely with him. More often than not, it's going to be the all-out aggression. How do you like viOLet's build orders here once more?
I find this one really fascinating because viOLet's actually not watching for the cannon rush. And does he have some magic? Yeah, okay, so he saw the probe coming and he's pulling 5 drones. Of course, he's got to transition onto the gold minerals anyway.
Yes.
So he's saying, this works out. I can pull all my drones because even if you cannon rush me, they want to be mining here anyway. So this is a perfect map for the cannon rush defense.
The overreaction was so funny.
Yeah, man, he's paranoid. Who wouldn't be? You're playing Haas right now.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a much smoother opening here for viOLet. He's going to be getting Zergling speed, 6 Zerglings immediately, and just kind of getting into a very normal rhythm.
Stargates?
Definitely is a possibility, of course.
Yeah.
Needs a little bit more gas.
Oh, goes for the Twilights.
I think it just plays perfectly with the gold minerals on this map. I really do like it on this map, especially if you can get up a proxy gateway. But that's something he's used in the past many times, and viOLet is being very studious. He's sending Zerglings into all the different corners of the map. He's checking for those proxies.
There's a probe in the base of viOLet.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, actually, there's an Overlord flying towards it. Never
yeah,
mind.
the Overlord should probably...
Oh, he almost went to hide it. Oof. If that got him in the top right corner and stayed there, imagine 7 gate adepts with resonating glaives. Good night, Sweet Prince.
That would be pretty damn devastating. Oh, very fast Evo chamber here out of viOLet. This is a map where there is so much space to drop into the main bases, so we might see a bit of an elevator a bit later on in the game once viOLet's Overlord's getting in position. viOLet has now scouted the gold base with his Overlord flying past. He realizes what he's up against, and a lot of Zerglings in production right now. Not sure if this is for a big attack or just to shut down anything Haas throws his way, but
I think for both.
Oh man, Haas is beginning the proxy on that right-hand side. viOLet doesn't know about it just yet, and he's going to just build a lot of Zerglings.
How many gates? That's the question right now. It's probably going to be a lot of them here. I don't think that Haas really wants to go into the later stages of the game against the Zerg, who opens so fast with the gold base and gets his natural. Those adepts are going to be caught out of position.
This surround is massive. Those first 2 adepts are so important. Getting caught out already. viOLet still doesn't know about the proxy. That's the only thing going Haas's way for now. But the Zergling's already hitting the natural expansion.
Oh, the adept in the wall moves back because he was trying to get a pylon, but not quite on time here. This is a disaster. The mothership core is in natural. Lings are going to start streaming into the main. They're going to unpower that pylon here if they want to. He pulls back and ends up fighting the probes here, but Has in a disastrous position early on.
So much lost mining time here, and viOLet has just pounced on top of weakness. Look at this, the probes just running around in circles, trying to catch up with the Zerglings. That is not what you want to be doing right now. Finally gets the surround of those Zerglings, but the damage is already done. He's lost 5 workers, he's lost a huge amount of mining time. The Zerglings are knocking on that door. Drop Overlords are starting to morph in. A good overcharge here, but the Zerglings focus that down almost as quickly as it starts on firing. And viOLet here with the fantastic focus. The pylon's going to go down, Todd.
And there's no overcharge available. Use that on the dying pylon here. viOLet completely overrunning Has here. Telling him you can cheese all you want. You might take a game here and there, but you're not going to win that series here against me. I want those WCS points. I want to go further in the tournament.
Even loading up a drop into the main at the same time as all this is going on. The gold base has lost so many workers right now, and he's going to keep on hitting that mineral line over and over again while the Zerglings run into the main base. This is devastating. Haas is falling apart right now. He's warping in a depth, but this is not going to be enough. The Zergling's going to depower that gateway. Zerglings coming from every side. The probe's kind of derping against the pylon there, just unable to get anything done. And viOLet has even found the proxy. Things are not going Haas's way at all. viOLet's on top of everything.
And there's not much he can do here from there. Has is doing his best to try and defend. viOLet picked up the Zerglings in the main for a moment. He redrops. The proxy gateway will be unpowered. And Has is going to be left with... Actually, he's got way more probes here. He's got 29 against 19. viOLet was completely all in, so... I thought that viOLet had found a way to drone in the middle of all this, but only now does he restart drone production.
I think the heat's getting to me, man. A little bit slow on picking up on that myself. We're seeing the Overlord elevator go into that main base.
I thought this was completely over, but viOLet didn't drone, even though he's on 3 hatcheries somehow.
You know, he actually did evacuate the probes from the gold base pretty well. Haas has done a decent job of keeping those probes alive, even though they've lost an infinite amount of mining time.
There's so many links on the map here.
Yeah, he's still going to keep getting decent trades in the main as well. And oh my gosh, that's a lot of Zerglings.
Oh, he's not paying attention.
Goodbye, probe line. Every single probe on the gold goes down, and suddenly... things swing back into viOLet's favor. Remember, he's on 3 base, but oh, a nice counterattack here coming out of Haas. Good number of adepts. There is a spine crawler here for viOLet, but not many Zerglings available.
I think those adepts might get chased down and sniped here if there's enough links in the area. Mornings come towards the gold base here of Haas, and they're trying to snipe it, but it's just a few of them.
Haas is once again back up in workers, 28 to 22. He does have a lot of adepts out, and keep in mind at this point that Glaive's upgrade is finished. It's just Ling Bane off a lesser economy up against these Glaive adepts. These attack speed adepts are so damn powerful.
He's going to take out the Nexus with Zerglings and Banelings, drop again in the main because he knows that there is not that many adepts there.
Abuse that mobility. That's exactly how he's got to be playing this, because right now at home there are very few units here for Haas. He's got only 3 adepts at the gold, only 2 adepts in the main, and this is going to be very devastating. His probes are going to be so exposed. The Banelings coming in here, they're just going to blast right on through these 3 adepts, taking a huge amount of damage. In come the Zerglings behind. The overcharge is good, but the adepts have to fall back. The Nexus just being focused down, and with that, Haas is smacked back down to 1 base. viOLet so damn decisive. Banelings in the main base, run in, managed to take out 5 probes at the same time, and oh man. Haas is losing so much mining here. He's down to 1 base. There's still a horde of Zerglings out. viOLet still has that 3 base production. The one saving grace potentially here is that DT Shrine is almost finished. It's all in on those DTs right now.
I don't know if viOLet clicked on it, but it was spotted here by some of the units, and viOLet actually can even move in there. Keep on applying more pressure.
In the main base. But it doesn't quite manage to get too much. Gets just a few more probes. Oh no, if they get all of these probes are damaged, even more probes do go down. That DT Shrine is finishing up. There's still no spores at home. viOLet, you've got to react to this. You can't make overseers. And DT is beginning to warp in. 1 DT warping in here defensively, I believe. No, it is on the offense, but yeah, he's morphing in even more DTs. There's no detection. At home, the wall going down for Haas. He's re-walling behind it, but his adepts aren't defending it. The DTs dive in here.
What the hell? Can he win this? Really?
He's
going to start slicing some of these drones here, and viOLet is just not ready. There is no spore. He starts one in panic in the main and everywhere, but Haas could just snipe these very easily in the natural and third base.
In the main base at the same time. More and more probes are going down, but so many drones dying as well. The spores keep getting sniped before they can finish. Spores are going to finish up in the main for viOLet, but at the third and the natural, they are going down. So many drones dying here. At the moment, what's the worker count at? We're seeing 27 drones versus 18 probes, still only 1 base Protoss. These DTs have to do more damage yet. They can't stop at this.
Yeah, viOLet needs to move the spore that he's got in the main towards his natural. If he saves at least one of these bases, he's going to be in a good position. But right now, the DT in the third base still doing damage, and viOLet is not being aggressive across the map anymore. Right now, he's only focused on the defense. And that DT in the natural gets sniped here eventually with the spore.
Oh, that's really big. The gold base is going to go down, but only on 1 base. Haas needs more than this. He's got to get more damage, and I think viOLet's managing to stabilize here. He's still got 27 workers alive. He can transition back down to mining on his main base. The gold does go down.
Haas is going to retake his. I mean, why not?
Why not, I guess? I mean, there's no mobile detection in this game for a long time.
Oof, he almost sent them too close to the spore here and lost him.
This is such a crazy game right now. I mean, Haas is way behind.
It's not a crazy game. It's a classic Haas series.
This is just standard Haas. Haas is like, yeah, I played 600 games like this on ladder this week, man. It's completely standard for him, but what have we got at home? A Centrigan in the depth, a couple pylons and a mothership core going to defend that gold base. viOLet doesn't want to let this proxy just stay here. He's going to come in with a huge number of Zerglings. Maybe a DT warp in here would be nice, but there's just so little money right now for Haas. He can't even afford to do that.
Yeah, viOLet, he's got a lot of units out on the map here. I don't think he's under any threat from any kind of adepts or DTs with the spores that he's got.
Interestingly, he's going for melee upgrades rather than lair, saying, who cares about detection? I'm just going to have so much more stuff, I guess.
He might just try to overrun. He's mining from 2 bases and actually, well, if he does that, to be honest, there's not going to be any overseers, but maybe he doesn't care, tries to power through.
Manual detonations of Banelings on DTs, perhaps.
Next meta, man.
Yeah, one of the most cost-inefficient ways to deal with DTs, but, you know, you can do it when you've got more mining than your opponent. Right now, viOLet setting up these drops, setting up these Zergling counterattacks all around the map. Catches a few adepts of Haas is just out in the open for no reason. That's something, Haas can't afford that.
He wasn't mining from the goal here for a moment. Needs to fix that. He's going to transfer a lot of probes to that base, which is going to be on the siege here in a second. I think there's about to be a second overcharge. And
yeah, we're seeing 2 overcharges ready on that mothership core. 3 DTs. He's just got to keep these DTs spread. Here come the Banelings. This is the scary part. You're gonna, every time you kill a Baneling, it's blowing up on those DTs. He's got to spread. 2 DTs go down. A big mistake.
He's got some Banelings loaded up on an Overlord on the top right-hand side as well that he might send into the main. Forces the double overcharge and now pulls back.
Oh man, it's going to be another 20-30 seconds before another overcharge is up. These DTs need to whittle down these Zerglings, but the Zerglings are just so damn fast. Meanwhile, the slow Overlord drop is working its way in towards that gold mineral line. viOLet just running back and forwards, refusing to go lair. He just wants to finish it with these mid-tier basic units. He's getting that melee upgrade. He's getting close to finish. The Zerglings are going to dive on in here.
There's so many DTs.
Oh my god, this
and
is
the thing is, he didn't kill those. Like he dropped the shields on them,
Jaws.
but they regenerate, and actually Has even gets an Archon
The
now.
Overlord drop, it's coming in. Oh my god, I can almost imagine the Jaws music right now. This is the slowest drop of all time, but it could be game-ending. Okay, the Archon finishes. Has pulls the probes. Good reaction so far. He's going to turn around. He's going to try and unload these Banelings. He wants to get him on these probes, but so far, fantastic defense from Has.
Are you kidding me?
Not a single probe goes down. And viOLet, is he maybe getting too stuck on trying to be aggressive here? He keeps attacking. He's still up 10 workers, but has stabilized on his defense. He's got 2 Archons up. He's adding a Robo here at his gold base. viOLet establishing the 3rd, starting that lair finally to get up some mobile detection. But, you know, in the last couple of minutes, Has has really done a lot with a little.
I really like that he left a Stalker in his main base on the left-hand side to see any kind of further Overlord drop, which might come into play as well, because Pneumatized Carapace was made. So I think viOLet is looking to try and keep on dropping, but what a scrappy game here from both players. Like, so many units were killed already. It felt like it might end any second. 203 Zerglings died.
Oh my god, is he gonna just weather the storm of these Archon blasts? Yes, he is. He's going for the drop, but gets 3 with those damage probes before the Archons take out that that Overlord with 3 Banelings still inside it. And Adept counterattack coming in here from Has. This is a bit crazy right now. Just being right out on the map with these Adepts. He's gonna have to try and retreat, losing 1 Adept for his troubles. Does spot that 3rd base is now up, and we've got a Ling drop going into the main base at the same time.
They're gonna start that Stalker very fast if he drops on top of it, which he's planning to do right now. So viOLet's going to start saturating that gold base a little bit more actively. He's going to Roaches now, which is going to be good news against somebody who's got these few Adepts, but Immortals are being pumped up now, and Has is warped in a few Stalkers in his main, so with the Archons that he's got, maybe Has expands one more time on his natural, and actually he's in an okay position, but viOLet's planning a big bust on that gold base here with Roaches, Banelings, 1 single Ravager as well.
There's so few units here for Has. He's doing a great job with his Adept counterattack. He's taking down 5 drones, but
15 probes.
Juicy Baneling hits. Goodbye, Protoss economy.
The units are stuck in the main. The Stalkers at the wall here are blocking each other off in the main of Has. He was trying to send that here to help on that gold base, and losing 16 probes. Basically, he's left with 16 walkers against the 47 drones of viOLet. I think viOLet might have done it here with this big Baneling bust on that base. Has wasn't paying attention, and he's going to pay the big price for it.
You know, viOLet's a big believer of went ahead, just go kill your opponent, and he's shown us how to do it here. He just kept throwing these waves of aggression, and eventually something's got to stick, and it did with that huge Baneling hit on that gold mineral line.
viOLet has had enough of getting surprised. He sent Overlords all around the map. He's got so much vision right now. He wants to see Has coming from a mile away here if he can.
Oh, and there's no more units spotting in the main base. Another Ling drop is going to load up here for viOLet, and this time, finally, he's going to catch Has with his pants down, and that's going to be devastating, especially as these Roaches with Roach speed push out up through the middle of the map at the same time, and viOLet just keeping up these multi-pronged attacks over and over again. We've got a cute little Sentry Immortal Archon army out for Has, but he's only on 1 base mining. If he loses that mining in his main base, like that's it. He's just down to almost no unit production right now.
Oh, he's going to spam Bile from down there as well on that gold base.
Oh, that's such a cute maneuver.
Yeah, good luck, More Prism. There's this many units. Keep on spamming Bile on these probes. He starts killing more. He attacks at the same time in the main with the Zerglings.
Goodbye, probe line. Down to just 1 base mining here, and it is looking like such a tentative position. Has is moving across the map while viOLet rotates into his gold base. What are you doing, Has? I think he's trying to force the base trade. He knows the situation's desperate. He says, maybe if I kill your lair, I can win with DTs in a base trade. But viOLet is already on top of his structures. viOLet's getting way ahead here.
Yeah, there's just not much Has can do. He's going to move across the map in a desperate attempt to try and finish the game with the units that he's got. Preemptively dropping these Archons here to try and do some damage. He cannot even reinforce here at this point. He's almost broke. He's got 2 Immortals here as his last hope. A couple Force Fields. He's going to try a couple Roaches actually, but I mean, if you look at the army supply, 90 against 48, I think viOLet should be able to defend this. and move on to the next round. But with Has, you never know, Pig.
This is such an elite army Has has. Like, it is made for munching on roaches and zerglings, and that's all Violett has right now. Violett has almost infinite units in comparison, though, coming around with a full surround. Corrosive Biles going down. Has's micro is so sick. These Immortals are racking up so many kills. Finally, oh, beautiful War Prism pickup, saving the Immortals, but Violett just has too much with the full surround. He shuts it down and takes the 3-1 victory there, stabilizing after a shaky start.
What an epic game from these two. I thought this was over early, but Violett, he stayed aggressive, has somehow stabilized for a little bit of time, and eventually getting a big bailing detonation on that goal base, sniping 15 probes is what sealed the deal here for him, and Has goes out of the tournament, and Violett moves on to the quarterfinals.
And it's just so decisive there. You know, Violett in that last game especially, like, you can't defend this gold base. And I think he showed us why a lot of Protoss players are afraid of taking that gold. He just launched attack after attack.
Yeah.
And the multi-prong as well. I love the elevator into the main. Even though it failed sometimes, he just kept going for it.
Yeah,
and eventually you're going to catch Protoss off guard.
The fact that he kept going for it and sometimes had too much on the natural of Has.
Yeah.
I think at some point Protoss is kind of meant to break unless you're defending perfectly the whole game. But that really wasn't the case here for Has. So very well done here from Violett. But guys, we're going to head to a break. And then when we come back, we're going to hear from Violett himself. So see you guys in a minute.
Welcome back to the couch here at IEM Shanghai. I am liking with me Nathanius and Violett. Violett off a really exciting series playing against Haas. But before we get to that, I understand you both went to the gym together yesterday, right? How did that go?
Well, that's why I got buff now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're looking pretty intense. Does the workout help with your practice? Like, do you feel more energized? Do you feel more clear-headed?
I think it's pretty help because, you know, I basically sit all day for playing game. It's make your body really weaker. So I start workout so I can sleep better. I have more energy for practice. So actually, it's a help for me.
Well, it seems it's definitely helped here because you just played one of the most intense series we've seen this weekend. It's really exciting. I want to know, first of all, what is the emotional roller coaster like when you play against a player like Haas?
I still have no idea what was happened. Like, even I won the series, I lose my mental. So that's how Haas is. It's really difficult to play for against him.
Yeah, game one, I imagine that's really tilting. Going against, 15 oracles, you're getting your hatchery taken down multiple times, have to keep rebuilding it. How do you adapt to that when you know he's going to play cheesy, but you never know what he's going to do?
Actually, after Lo's first match, my mental is totally broken because he had a fourth, but my supply is like 40 something, so I've just typed GG. There's no way I can come back. So after that, I'm trying to just breathe, and trying to think in next game. And I only saw one game he like trying to pile on war, but he does every time. So I kind of confidence with that. But first game was like, meh. But after that, I figured it out how to defend. So I think overall, after match, I ahead after I defend the pylon wall. So that's how I win the match.
You definitely put on a great show, and I think a lot of people expected you to be able to win in a straight-up game against Haas, despite how crazy the series went. So you took control of it. You're going to continue on in the tournament. Who's, of the players that you could go against, who are you worried about? Is there any player you specifically practiced for going into this tournament? Was Haas a big concern, or are you more concerned about someone you might face later on?
So my next opponent will be Nurture versus Science winner. I think Nurture gonna win, and he just win another championship last month. So he's actually kind of Korean level or over Korean level, I can say. So he's gonna definitely hardest group. I mean, hardest opponent in my bracket. I hope he loses. Just kidding.
Well, it was definitely some really exciting play from you. I guess one thing I do want to know is how did you prepare for this tournament? Like, what was your mentality after the last few tournaments you've played?
Usually people get jet lag, but I was flown from the Korea because I had a bit passport issues. So I had no jet lag, and food is actually, I was really worried about the food, but now food is kind of delicious, and hotel is great, and this event is great. So far I love China.
Do you like the dumplings that we have at breakfast?
Oh sure, absolutely.
It's good stuff. Oh man, excellent games, really exciting series. Thank you very much for joining us on the couch. We wish you the best of luck in the next one. And we're going to send it over to the desk where a beautiful ginger man is waiting to talk to you about this series. Kilaris?
Thank you very much, boys. All right, that is that. Unfortunately, Haas has been eliminated. I'm a sad panda inside. I can't really help it. But boys, overall, that was a pretty cool series. Rotterdam, I think you have some kind of highlights for us to go through as well.
It doesn't happen often that we see cannon rush after triple Stargate Mass Oracle and say that's exactly what we expected.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
There were some really cool moments.
So yeah, that's the first cannon rush that we can see, and the defense this time wasn't perfectly good. So he lost the hatchery, and then the Oracle frenzy happens.
It was just the follow-up, you know? You're never going to expect this many Oracles flying into your base, right? And this is the first game for viOLet. That's the aftermath right there. You can tell how that game went if you didn't see it. Oh.
Anyway, on to game 2.
Okay, another cannon rush. That reminds me of the Jaedong situation back in the days. It looked like that a little bit. And yeah.
This one cannon, I really felt this one cannon looks soon, right now it's madness. Look at this cannon. Just shoot at the hatchery. And he's like,
hit the hatchery.
Let's go for the queens. No, don't go for the queens. Go for the hatch. This queen had no energy anyway.
Yeah.
There was 150 HP on the hatchery, and it definitely hits a little bit more than that. So he could have killed it for sure. I don't really know what the decision was like this, and then he just gets taken out by that Roach Queen, transition. That was pretty good.
And he goes for it again here, adding an extra pylon this time because you need it on Sejong Station. Does get thwarted. It feels like viOLet at this point does figure out kind of how to deal with this kind of thing. And then he goes for his own cheeky follow-up here with a million banelings.
Thanks for that.
Does a lot of damage here.
I like that follow-up, though. I thought it was very smart. After, he saw multiple Stargates go down, he's like, all right, well, you have a couple Phoenix, maybe a few Oracles, but if I throw nothing but Lings and Bange away, I'll close it out. And the final game, this was just madness. I loved it. It all started with that early run by then. Nothing but work IRS. Eventually, finally getting the Nexus. Then you think it's over, right? It's never over, because there's Dark Templars in this game. Haas really doing his absolute best to hang in there like a champ, but I really enjoyed the way that viOLet played this game out.
I can't believe this game actually lasted as long as it did.
Yeah.
And basically it was because of the DTs. And when you think about it, I think in game 2 on Frozen Temple, when he actually proxies the Twilight Council, build the Dark Shrine, man.
Yeah.
You could have won.
Yeah.
There was no lair tech whatsoever.
Yeah.
That would have at least defended the first push.
I was surprised overall in that game 4, or even just kind of going through the series as a whole, viOLet towards the game 4 out-aggroed Haas. That was quite impressive.
Yeah, I love the way that viOLet played in the last 2 or 3 games, I would even say. Obviously the first one, we look at it, like, oh, come on, man. Like, you kind of know this kind of stuff is going to happen, right? But I think the way that he approached King Sejong, he saw the 1 Stargate, he saw the Phoenix that's supposed to be like, oh, I'm playing Phoenix. Well, we all know he ain't playing Phoenix. He uses 1 Phoenix to kill the Overlords and then go Mass Oracle. And viOLet is like, well, if I just hit immediately, he probably won't have an answer to Ling Bane.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very smart and a very mature call there. And then obviously in the final game, it was just nothing but aggression. Like, Haas, is obviously very aggressive, but he's also very greedy in the way he gets up to his aggression. He doesn't chrono boost Warp Gate, he chrono boosts Resonating Glaives. And then viOLet's like, well, if I send nothing but Lings your way, and that's really where it all started. He was able to do quite a bit of damage with the first Lings because Warp Gate wasn't ready yet, and it was only one unit, and was the Mothership Core, and was out of position.
All right, boys. It's, well, obviously viOLet has moved on, but it's kind of time to get a little bit serious. I have to do this, unfortunately.
Right.
For me, personally, I thought I was Haas's biggest fan.
But
apparently this is untrue. And for the love of Haas kind, we found ourselves an even bigger fan of Haas, who seems to have witnessed a miracle in the joy that is Haas the God. I cannot believe.
It was beautiful. I mean, let's be honest, it wasn't just him. All of our faces were like that. The moment we saw the one Oracle kill 7 drones, and it's like, well, if you imagine like one Oracle can kill 7 drones, imagine what 9 Oracles can do. And that's when your mouth drops. Yeah, it was great. Awesome.
Glorious.
Love that guy. Great shout out to that guy.
Yeah, great shout out to that guy. Officially Haas guy. All right, so let's take a check in with the brackets, see what's gone down thus far here in the round of 16, as unfortunately we will not be seeing any more of Haas, but we really, really wish we were. As viOLet has moved on victoriously into the round of 8, and now he awaits his opponent in Nurchio versus Xian. Nurchio coming in now as the last one of the remaining members of that round of 16. We're all expecting high hopes here from Nurchio.
Yeah, I think Nurchio the obvious favorite here. This is one of the games from the round of 16 that's just like, okay, we kind of know who's going to get through this one. Xian, props to him if he can even take one game, to be honest, for me. I'm like, if he can do that, that would be fantastic, even to get him on the map, because he's not even really a well-known player at this point.
There is a small but, though, and I've mentioned this before. I don't know where they're getting it from, but the Chinese seem to genuinely believe that Cyan is going to win this series. Fonka, maybe you haven't heard it?
No.
Like this morning they were talking, and they said like Ayasonu said as well, it's like, yeah, Cyan is going to take that series. They are pretty much convinced. It's not even joking. It's like, no, like just that says like, no, he's going to win. So maybe you've picked up on something else. I have no idea what they based it
I
on.
really don't know what it's all about, because when you look at those results from Nurchio from the last couple of months, even since the beginning of Legacy of the Void, the guy's just a beast. It's like on the top of the ladder, on the top of the food chain, I would say. Like he actually eats everybody out, every single game.
Who's to dispute he is not the best non-Korean in the game right now? It's difficult to try and dispute that claim. But anyway, that really does it for us here at the desk right now. We are going to be moving on to our final round of 16 match in just a moment. It's hot here in Shanghai, but oh boy, is it a marvel to behold here in China.
When you think of China, Shanghai directly springs to mind. It's the most populous city in China and one of the most populated cities in the world. Shanghai has a population of more than 24 million. As you can see, there's people everywhere, wherever you go. The Bund is a famous waterfront and regarded as the symbol of Shanghai for hundreds of years. It's impressive how many people visit this specific location to enjoy the famous city skyline. In the evening, this spot turns into one of the most breathtaking views you will ever experience. There's a place for everyone here. Visitors, locals, or even aspiring photographers. It's even a location for wedding couples looking to tie the knot in Shanghai. A thriving city like Shanghai is a favorite not just for the Intel Extreme Masters, but for many around the world. It's a location to remember.